We have lots of stuff to go over today. Some Xbox news updates on stuff that was announced at the Xbox Showcase, updates on games that have been shown off during the Summer Games Fest. Nintendo Switch 2 sales are seemingly doing extremely well, so we will take a look at that. The PS5 DualSense gets a nice upgrade here, bringing it up to par with the feature that I think a lot of people love on the Xbox controller. So we will take a look at that plus many other things. But before we do jump into it, if you do enjoy daily gaming news content, make sure to hit the subscribe button, share, like the video, all of that great stuff. I see a lot of you who do watch are not subscribed, so I would appreciate it if you did hit the subscribe button. But for now, let's jump into the news. So the Xbox Showcase has come, it has gone. I gave my full thoughts on it on my video yesterday. I thought it was a good show. It wasn't better than last year's, but I thought overall they did a very good job of showing how good the Xbox ecosystem is, how good it is going to continue to be via Xbox Game Pass and features like Xbox Play Anywhere, which to me is some of the most consumer friendly stuff out there right now, especially with the rising game prices. Xbox has even gone up and announced their first $80 game, which is the Outer Worlds 2, which I think is a kind of an absurd price for the game, but it does seem like that they are really trying to push more people to go sign up to Xbox Game Pass rather than go and pay the $80. They'll take the $80 if you decide to pay that, but they probably would rather have you in the ecosystem via Game Pass, and these rising prices are going to contribute, I believe, to more people going and signing up to Xbox Game Pass. So very cool stuff overall from the show, though, with games showing off, lots to look forward to, tons of day one Game Pass games. The service is just absolutely insane. But at the end of the show, Phil Spencer did come on and he teased the 25th anniversary and next year for Xbox, which would mean that next year's show is going to be just insane in terms of the games that they do show off. He said next year they're going to be celebrating with a new Fable, a new Gears of War, a new Forza, and then another game that has been with Xbox since the very beginning. And any sort of logical deduction would make you believe that that is Halo, a new Halo game coming into the series, into the franchise. But what Halo game is this? Now, I think it is Halo Combat Evolved, and Tom Warren as well believes it is Halo Combat Evolved, as he has teased this in the past that they are working on this. If you do remember when they announced they were moving from 343 over to the newly named Halo Studios and moving away from the Slip Space engine and using Unreal Engine 5 to make Halo, they showed off the original Halo Combat Evolved Master Chief, which would make you assume that, yeah, they're working on something here to bring this game back. And Tom Warren tweets this out, which makes it even more probable that this is going to be the game that is the fourth one here, the one that has been with Xbox since the beginning. He tweets this here saying, here's Xbox chief Phil Spencer announcing Gears of War E-Day for 2026. And in the same year, the next Forza NATs of Halo CE remaster. They say Warren had reported on the existence of this game before, which is apparently under consideration for release on rival platforms, including the PlayStation 5. We will see if that does happen. I wouldn't be shocked. I think people's expectations at this point is that it is happening, with games like Gears going over and Forza going over, Halo as well, more than likely be going over to the PlayStation 5. At this point, I mean, it doesn't matter. We know the vision of the Xbox ecosystem. It looks phenomenal. I'm extremely excited for the future of it. I will be fully invested in this ecosystem, especially with Xbox Play Anywhere. It's going to be the main place that I pick up a lot of games just for that feature alone, at least on the digital side of things. I think if you're looking for physical games, Xbox is probably not the place to be purchasing them, but there's so much to do here, so much to play with Game Pass and with Play Anywhere. Next year, having the foundation of Xbox all releasing in the same year is very cool. And they have to have been planning for this 25th anniversary for a while to make sure that everything did land in 2026. Maybe as well, when you think about a game like Fable that was supposed to be coming out this year, maybe the game's completely ready. And it's just they wanted to push it to the 25th anniversary year so that you had those 4 tentpole games from Xbox all coming out at the same time. So this is extremely exciting. Halo and Gears are two of my favorite franchises of all time. To get a brand new one each in 1 year is pretty insane. For the Halo Combat Evolved game, I hope it is just a complete brand new work from the ground up style of game, because we've already have the anniversary collection, which I thought was very good and did like a remastered justice for that game. But if they can remake it all in Unreal Engine 5, give a new experience, maybe make it a bit bigger and stuff where you're going to have more Halo within Halo Combat Evolved, I be all for that. I'll be all over that on day one. So exciting stuff here. And we just got the 2025 showcase. We're already looking forward to what is coming here in 2026 and what they're going to be showing off next year, on top of other games that we still haven't seen this year, which would be things like State of Decay 3 and Perfect Dark and Contraband. And there's just, the list goes on and on and on when it comes to the amount of games that Xbox does have. Another game that is launching into Xbox Game Pass day one is Hollow Knight Silksong. And it is coming out this year. It did get shown off at the Xbox showcase, but not in the way I think people expected it to be shown off. It was shown off alongside the ROG Xbox Ally, and they said that you're going to be able to play this game on this handheld when the console launches, the handheld console launches this year, which made people believe that that meant that Hollow Knight Silksong is going to be releasing at the same time, and it's going to be tied to the handheld console. But the publisher for Hollow Knight has clarified what is actually going on here. It's still coming out this year. It was expected at least to be released this year, but they do say here that the highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong will be available at launch and in Game Pass when the Ally releases later this year, or that's what Sarah Bond had said at the showcase. But to clarify the situation, Matthew Griffin, who handles the marketing and publishing for Silksong's developer Team Cherry, took to the Discord server to make it clear that the game is not necessarily an ROG Xbox Ally launch title. He says, I confirmed before holiday, which is what the game's release date. He says, we are not tied to a console release. So it's really not bad news. It is going to be out there. You are going to be able to play it day one on the ROG Xbox Ally on Game Pass when it does drop into Game Pass. But the actual official release dates, we don't know, but it is this year. It is coming out in 2025, unless something crazy does happen. I just don't see how this game can get delayed again. I just don't see it. But what do I know about the development of Hollow Knight Silksong? People have been waiting for it. It's almost comical now how they've been handling this game. I almost feel like they're doing it on purpose at this point, not having like a real official trailer with a release time frame or something to get people hyped. They have all these like little snippets of it. They briefly showed it off at the Nintendo Direct a couple months ago. They show it off here with the Xbox handheld. And I almost feel like they're doing that on purpose, because the FOMO for this game is just getting higher and higher, and the want to see it is getting higher. It's actually creating more hype for the game because they haven't come out with any real official announcements other than Discord messages and stuff saying that it is going to be out before the holiday season. Another big game that is launching this year is Gears of War Reloaded. We know that it is also coming to the PS5, which I think is going to be great for the entire multiplayer side of things. I think this game is going to be very lively. We're going to get those Xbox 360 feels with it, with you go home, tons of people playing it, tons of people jumping in and getting competitive, which is a game that I played almost every day when I was in high school, after school, coming home and playing Gears of War. Hope we get back to that with this Reloaded launch for this game. One place that it isn't launching, though, on the PlayStation 5 is going to be in Japan. This is an interesting one here. So we got this announcement. The official Japanese Xbox Wire site reveals that Gears of War Reloaded will not be released for PS5s in Japan due to regional rating restrictions and platform policies, saying players in Japan will only have the option to play the game on the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox PC Game Pass, and Steam on launch day, which is so weird because it's still accessible in Japan. It's just not accessible on PlayStation 5. A report by GameSpark reveals that it was canceled, the PS5 release, because the game could not pass the 0 rating due to blood, gory depictions, and intense violence. But it can pass it, I guess, on Xbox, but not on PlayStation. Maybe I just don't fully understand how the rating system does work there. If anybody does, let me know in the comments below. But that is just an odd thing. So it's not coming out on PS5 in Japan because it isn't passing the ratings. I don't know how big of an effect this will have on the game, how many people were planning on playing it there, but that is unfortunate for the people with PS5s only in Japan who wanted to play the game itself. When it comes to the actual multiplayer itself and what it does support, we now know that it supports 120 FPS on both the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, which is a great feature. For multiplayer, it's not about the highest resolutions and the most details and everything. Especially for shooters, you really want that high FPS. But 120 FPS on both the X and the S is a pretty awesome thing to see. It's kind of like Call of Duty. On Call of Duty, that they do the same thing with that game with the Xbox Series S and X, but the S particularly here, which people would probably be more surprised about because of how much of a lower powered console that console is. Now, Gears of War E-Day, we know is coming in 2026. There is a YouTube video out now with some more information on the game itself, and we also got an update on the development, them saying that the development is going well. We're super passionate about E-Day. The whole team felt the love from the Gears of War community at the showcase last year. We'll have more to share later, much more. So we know this game's coming out in 2026. I wonder if we will see more about it in 2025. An update, maybe a smaller showcase of some sort for Gears of War E-Day. I guess that would all depend on what the actual release date for this game is. Is this a holiday, Christmas time, 2026 release, or is this a first half of the year 2026 release? If that's the case, I would assume if it's first half of the year, we're going to see it at that developer direct in January, and then we'll get the release date of it there. If it's not, I would assume we're going to see it on next year's Xbox Showcase, which I think next year's Xbox Showcase is going to be all 25th anniversary stuff, and they're going to want to have all of the titles releasing at that showcase itself. We also got some more info on the next Ninja Gaiden game, Ninja Gaiden 4, which looks phenomenal. We got a release date forward for October 21st. And now we have more information about the collaborations that Xbox, Ninja Gaiden, and Halo are going to be having. Ninja Gaiden and Halo, the Hayabusa helmet is returning here to Halo Infinite coming on June 10th in Operation Legacy unlockable via exchange here. So this is pretty cool. If you're a fan of both of these series, you're going to want to download this. You're going to want to pick this helmet up simply because you're getting everything in one here. You can take a look at it. It looks pretty cool. I love these crossovers that they have been doing, especially with these big franchises. And Xbox now getting a lot of these games in Game Pass Day 1. I think you can see them doing a lot of more of them going forward. And just with the amount of franchises they have first party, they could do some pretty crazy crossovers. Like think about Doom as well with Halo and all those types of crossovers that they could end up doing. I mean, we're seeing the Doom crossover with Tony Hawk, which is super cool as well. So I do enjoy seeing these creative crossovers that they end up doing. Probably one of the biggest announcements at the showcase was the Xbox handheld. The ROG Xbox handheld, however you want to call it, whether you think it's a real Xbox handheld or not, there's a lot that they've done with this announcement that is very promising for the future. And it, to me, is a huge step in the direction that I want Xbox to go with their user interface, with their ecosystem, and with more platforms and screens that are going to have Xbox, which is having that unified Xbox UI where at some point in the future, you get total access to everything, console, PC. I think this is a major step forward. It's not where I want them to be yet, but I think this is a major step forward, and I am very excited to see how it all plays and functions when this ROG Xbox Ally does release. We now have many people debating, or we've had them debating for a while, which I think is kind of an absurd debate if you really sit back and think about it, but it's whether you're going to be able to now play PlayStation games on an Xbox. And the answer is yes. You absolutely are going to be able to play PlayStation games on an Xbox. And if they put Steam or wherever PlayStation games are on the at-home Xbox console for the next generation, you're going to be able to play them on that too. We have some more info here about the PlayStation first-party games. Microsoft did make some comments somewhat around this, and this comes via Stephen Totillo's game file saying that PlayStation's first-party games will appear on Xbox Asus handheld hardware, says Microsoft, saying because these handhelds run Windows, you have access to all the games you can play on Windows PCs. And that was Stephen Totillo quizzing about PlayStation games. They also make another statement here saying that the Xbox full screen experience will come first to Ally and Ally X, and we will update the in-market ROG Ally and Ally X. Similar full screen Xbox experiences will be rolling out to other Windows handhelds beginning next year. And I am ecstatic to hear that. This is what I wanted them to do, and they are doing it. It's not just taking the new Xbox experience, the new handheld experience, and locking it to one device. It's creating this OS that can be utilized on any device. And it's a very smart move. It's what Steam OS is doing, and Xbox is following them, is giving that open access to this so people who want to use it, who want to get that better experience, can download it and use it. You're going to be able to use this on like a Steam Deck if you want to. You can more than likely you'll be able to install it there on the next Asus ROG Allies that are out right now, on the Lenovo Legion Ghost. Like, you're going to be able to get that Xbox experience. And when this thing does come out and people start testing it, and if it gives you just a significantly better gaming experience, significantly better battery life, people are going to want to go ahead and download this. So making this available is a very, very smart decision. And you're going to get PlayStation games. And the reason why I think that argument about the PlayStation games thing is just absurd, it's kind of just a fabricated thing, I think, from Sony fanboys that are sitting and wishing and praying for some reason that Xbox gamers don't get to play PlayStation games, which I don't understand why, is because those games are on Steam. The only way that you would not be able to play those games is if one, Steam wasn't accessible on Windows, or two, PlayStation took their games off of Steam. There is no way they would work around here and block those games. It doesn't make any business sense for PlayStation. It would probably piss off Steam and other companies that they do work with. So that I don't think will ever be a case, but crazier things have happened. I just don't see that any reason why they would do that. There still would be getting purchases. They would still be making money via Steam from Xbox players if they bought an ROG Xbox Ally and started playing Spider-Man. PlayStation's still making money, and that's at the end of the day all they do care about. So I don't see why they would end up trying to block their games. The other handheld that just released, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I know there's a lot of people out there who think it's not a great upgrade. I think it's actually a very nice upgrade. And what I was expecting from the Nintendo Switch 2, which is just an upgrade across the board, better Joy-Cons, bigger screen, better graphics, frame rates, and resolutions and stuff like that. So I'm actually enjoying my Nintendo Switch 2. And there was a lot of debate over would this thing sell? And I had said right from the beginning, even though the prices some people disagree with, and I think the prices on games are absurd. I think the price for the Switch 2 itself isn't that crazy, but the prices for games across the board, Nintendo, now you're seeing Xbox put games at 80, are just kind of absurd. It's selling. It is selling very, very well. And it looks like the Switch 2 is going to be breaking all the console sales record in history. Now, this is just a claim right now. We will know more about this when we get official numbers, but I would not be shocked if this does end up being true. This comes via Nintendo Prime, Paul Gale, saying, I have now heard from 3 independent people that Nintendo has globally shifted over 3 million Switch 2 units. This doesn't include any additional sales made today, already, and over the upcoming weekend. They say, for perspective, no console has come close to that level of sales in 24 hours. And over a 24-hour launch, the previous record was held by the PS4, which sold just over 1 million units worldwide. The 2-month total record is around 4.5 million units held by the PS5 and the PS4. Nintendo is on pace to beat that in less than a week, which would be crazy to think about. But I'm not shocked because Nintendo prepared very well for the launch of the Switch 2. Plenty of inventory. You didn't need to buy from scalpers. You probably could walk in now and have a chance of picking up a console in store. They sold so many pre-orders, but they manufactured a ton of Nintendo Switch 2s that everybody who was going to pick one up wanted one. They were able to get it. And there was still that insane hype and FOMO of people worrying that they weren't going to get one, running out and doing the whole pre-order thing. But you really didn't need to pre-order. I went to Walmart on day one, walked into the store, picked one up. I went to EB Games, 2 EB Games actually, on the day after the console release just to do some trade-ins and stuff. And I asked them, and they said that they got plenty of inventory on hand. And that one person at EB Games had actually told me that they had these consoles ready in warehouses and stuff since November. So this is a console launch that they've been preparing a lot for, and they were making sure that there wasn't going to be a lack of inventory. This wasn't like the Series X or the PS5 at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sell a record number of Nintendo Switch 2s here, and this thing does break the overall records of the sales. I'll have to wait and see, obviously, until Nintendo puts out their official numbers. Okay, one of the games I'm very excited for, and I think a lot of people are excited for, is the new 007 game, 007 First Light. And this is not going to be an open world, big, expansive type of game. And we have more info kind of on what this game is going to be all about. It is going to be a spy thriller more so than an action game, an action shooter. So this is during an interview with Games Radar Plus Jonathan Lattale, who is from IO's 007 franchise director. He spoke about how they are balancing the gameplay to feature IO's signature style with catering to James Bond centric story. Lattale revealed that they are leaning into IO's style. However, it would not be able to tell the full story of who Bond is in 007 First Light. So the developers are leaning on what IO does best while adding new things that really bring the full Bond experience. And when discussing new features for 007 First Light, that features that aren't present in the Hitman series, driving is a big one, which they have never done before. And they also say here the First Light shooting, which was a failing condition to Hitman and is here a big part of the game. But the developers do not want players to go through the game by shooting and shooting and shooting, and want to give players many tools to feel as smart as Bond in the upcoming title. And lastly, the franchise director also discussed gadgets that will help players, they say, take kind of a varied and spread out approach. And they say they got a glimpse of the vehicles Bond will be driving, the gadgets he will be using, and the weapons he will be shooting in 007 First Light. So this isn't going to be like a big, expansive action shooter. It is going to be, as they say here, more of a spy thriller. So depending on what you are looking for with this one, that is what you're going to be getting. And I think people will like that, like the different types of gadgets, the different ways of going about missions and taking on enemies. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. The game looks phenomenal. The driving looks very cool. So I'm excited to see how all that does play out. And they are basically hinting here, this is the first game. There's probably going to be multiple ones here as they try to go ahead and tell the entire Bond story through multiple versions and multiple releases of this series. And finally, PlayStation, the DualSense. It's catching up to the Xbox controller finally with this one feature, which is a great thing. And it is allowing you to connect to multiple devices at once. This was announced via social media that a new update will allow users to connect the controller to multiple devices at once, meaning players should be able to connect to both the PS5 and PC without having to repair or possibly multiple PS5 systems. So finally getting there. Happy that that is the case. Currently on the Xbox controller, that's already a thing, and you can just double tap the sync button and it instantly switches you from one device to the other. So I wonder how they're going to do that switching here with the PlayStation 5 controller. But yeah, that is a good thing to see happening. But that's it for me, guys. I'm going to end the video here. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.